Hey YouTube friends, pipe smokers, pipe makers, welcome back to my channel. Glad you're here. It's December 13th and we're just on the backside of our big storm we were supposed to have here, and it arrived, but didn't do quite what they said it was going to do. We did have continuous rain for about a solid day and a half. And during that time they were promising some very high winds, 35 to 70 mile an hour winds, and those winds never really did happen. I did a few things around here that I needed to take care of. I was worried that a little carport canopy was going to blow away, so I took the top off of that, and a few other things to prepare for the weather, but turns out we got wet, but not a lot of wind, so not so much destruction from that, but things being what they are, I still will have a lot of cleanup to do. Actually, when I get back from Oregon, getting ready for another Oregon trip, and I'm going to leave Tuesday, and probably in the very early part of the afternoon, and it'll get us there. It'll get us there in the early evening, so it'll be dark and it'll be a little cool in the house, but it won't be so bad as rolling out of here real late and getting there at 2 o'clock in the morning, because it's expected to be pretty icy this time. Be freezing temperatures over the Siskiyou Pass, which is right at the California-Oregon border. We go on across about it's 30 miles to Medford past the state line, and then the little community that we have property in is about another 15 miles, so about 350 miles for us from where I'm at here. Been kind of a busy and productive week for me here. I got the chance to put in quite a bit of lathe time. I have 3 pipe bodies that I'm working on. One that's quite a ways along, and I've completed the stem fitting, and I'm ready to finish the button, and still kind of wrestling with the shape on this particular pipe. Just not real satisfied with the proportions. It's turned out to be a bit larger and heavier pipe than I anticipated it was going to be from my kind of visualizations of it. It's going to be all right, but it's not going to be quite the proportion that I thought. And I have 2 other blocks that I'm currently started on. I always like to work on something that's a bit more of a challenge rather than some of the stuff that I figure I've done enough times that I can repeat it pretty well. This is another attempt, and it came out quite well, of a bowl cap and stem extension that I did in black palm on a briar pipe body, and that worked out pretty well. And I also did some Delrin threading and creating a Delrin tenon into a hand-cut ebonite stem, which is something that I'll talk about later on in future how-to videos that I'm going to be working on. So, speaking of those, I did promise another video with a little bit of instructional information and some of the things that I've discovered in my process I was going to share with people, and so I will work on that when I get back from Oregon. Where we left off, we're still working on the vulcanite stems, and I'm going to do the next one on basically how to use the tenon cutting tool, and setting it up, and what you can expect as far as results from that, and what some alternatives are, which are very few unless you actually have some machines. So probably for anybody starting out that doesn't already have a lathe and stuff, this is going to be really one of the only alternatives that you have. Wish there was a way that I could tell you that you weren't going to have to purchase a tool in order to do that, but realistically it's something you're going to need. I'm letting my pipe go out, and pipes, yes, smoking this bent brandy thing again, and that's a Holiday Spirit 2014 from McClelland, and this one's almost gone. I bought 2 of these, so I don't know, it's about gone. A couple others I got to order that I've just about smoked up, things that I like a lot. Place another order before too long. On my last video, one of my subscribers and YouTube friends happened to mention that they saw this item on the end of my bench and was curious about it. It's actually a bench pin, something that jewelers use, and this one is kind of an oversized version of that. One of the main things that I can do with this is if I have an item that I need to do some pierced work on or need support and want to cut something, I can take and I can use the slot right here, use a fret saw, bring it up through the opening here, and for example I can take a piece of ebonite rod if I need to just shear it off or I want to cut a notch in it in some way, I can do that. It also has these depressions that I've placed in it, so if you have something like a stem or pipe body, for example, you can place it into these areas here. It's less likely to roll when you're working on it if you're going to do some filing or sanding, that sort of thing. And if you use a real fine saws like a little dragon saw or something, you can place the piece here, thread your saw blade up through the pierced hole and work from the bottom and move both the piece and the saw to do some pretty intricate work like that. I use a scroll saw for most of this work, but if it's something simple, you can do it with this quite easily. It's made out of maple. It's 10-quarter maple, and this piece is removable. There's another piece of 10-quarter underneath, so if I want to have additional room or I want to use the permanent clamp that's on the front of the bench, I can use that to place a second vise that has an articulated head in order to support stems or bodies or whatever. So if I need to, I can easily take these machine knobs that I got at the local big box store out of the bottom of it and lift the pin portion of it right out, and this portion here is permanently attached to the bench. It's got 4 large carriage bolts to it, so it's not going anywhere. And in the back of this maple bench pin, I threaded directly into it. I thought about putting some cross bolts and threading through those, but after I tried it like this, I found that it holds really well, and so it makes it real easy to just take it and drop it back into place and run these machine knobs with their included studs right into it, and there you go, and then it's back into place. I actually have 2 of these, so it holds it really securely. And I don't know if that's an idea that you guys might be interested in, but that's my solution for some of those awkward pieces that need a little bit of something taken off of them. So maybe it's helpful for you. Mentioned that I got the chance to use a lathe, do lathe work this week, and actually I got the chance to work on both of the lathes. Got the chance to work on some pipe bodies on my wood lathe, which is a Rockwell with 12-inch over the bed swing. It's a 36-inch bed, I believe. And I also got the chance to work on my Atlas, which is in this room, just off to this side here. It's a 6x18 with a 3-jaw chuck, and I've done some modifications to it over the years. I've owned it for over 20 years, and I have gradually restored some of the poor tolerances and missing and broken parts over the years. It's more than complete now. I've got everything, including the milling attachment, and I'm in the process of trying to take out some of those last final tolerances. So new cross feed nut, and I'm missing locking nut on a advanced knob and stuff. But pretty much it's complete, and I was wrestling with it this week, doing some gear change stuff because I'm threading on it. I'm threading Delrin rod in order to insert it into ebonite for hand cut stems, and I'm going to show that to you in the future. But it's not for now. We'll work on that another time. So you'll get a chance to see that machine and see how I do threads on the lathe. Don't have really too much else to report to you. I'm really pleased with the number of subscribers that I've gotten and the number of views. So that's always encouraging. That keeps me motivated to do this some more. And I'll be working on that tenon video when I get back from Oregon. So my trip, I'm going to leave on Tuesday. I'll be back at the end of the week, and I'll get back to things, making pipes and making videos, and hopefully talking to you before too long. So hope everything's well. I'd like to thank you again for watching my channel, and we'll see you the next time that we meet. Should be a week or so from now. So I hope everyone's well, and until then, happy smoking, my friends.